Hey, how we doing this week? Okay, we're pretty much caught up on that song we've been working with for a while. I called it the beginning, and gave you some lyrics for you. You don't have to stick with those lyrics. Those are the lyrics that I put down there, so you can work with those until you come up with something better, or hang on to them, whatever you want to do. If you do write a song and it's popular, you know, I'd like that a whole lot, because the lyrics are copyrighted, so I can make a few pennies off of that. But anyway, on this song, I didn't cover beginnings, in other words, introductions, or endings, really. So for this song, let's go with beginning. We're introducing the song. For instance, we're coming in with a C. So we can do that in a number of ways. Now, we have to remember there's all kinds of these variations, remember, for the C chord. Including the ninth. So, we have to make a decision. Are we going to come into the beginning of this song quiet and sneaky, and pleasant, or are we going to come in with a roar? If you come in with a roar, you got to have a big bang and it doesn't fit, so we have to come in kind of sleepy-like, you know. You could actually play all the way through to there and then lead into it. In other words, all I did is I went through the chords. I went through the chords till I got down to C again, and then I just started the song. So you can work in any way you want to, but remember, you're just going to work with all those notes in some manner, form. Start it that way, all kinds of things. All kinds of ways to lead in. Now, down, I'm sure you can see this up here, but this is E minor, D minor, and B diminished. When you see a circle behind one of your chord symbols, that means it's a diminished, or they'll have it worded like I did it with a DIM. Okay, so we're going E as the song progresses toward the end. Then we can lead into starting with the B, diminished. We have to look at the words. There's spiritual warmth and over. In other words, the tingles of spiritual warmth all over. So all over is in this D. So we can either do it this way, which is nice and pleasant and quiet, or we could do it this way. And add which is the major, seventh, and the ninth. That always comes with a nice, pleasant sound, you know, just kind of neat, you know. Nice tone to it. Anything like that to end a song. Okay, So we pretty much got this covered. I'm going to put it to sleep now, and you can take it from there. And for next week, before I talk about that, there are programs, a lot of you already know that will take your song. There's copyright laws and all kinds of things, so you have to be careful what you're doing, because you can get yourself in a real deep bunch of doo-doo if you do something public other than just playing for yourself or your family. So if you take somebody else's song and you run it through the program to write a score on it so that you can play the music of it, I would suggest not going there. There's a reason they have a copyright. That's so that gentleman or that person or your lady or whatever has a copyright to that song, and that's how they get paid. So if you do the same thing, that's how you get paid. So anyway, just keep it simple. It's so much easier. So if you want to do that and you want to play out in the public, then you write it yourself and you do the whole thing yourself. Or like in this situation, I did this for comparison so that you realize that if you use somebody else's words or if you use somebody else's music and put your own words in it, you're either going to be paying for the lyrics and royalty. You're either going to pay royalties for lyrics or for the music itself. And then you also have an artist that performs it. So if you want to make the most, then I'm a solo artist. So I get money for the performance, for writing the music, and for the lyrics. I get the royalties for everything. Whereas if you go out and you sing and play my song, then I would get royalties for your performance. So that's how it works. In other words, you get paid for the performance, and I get paid the royalties for you doing that. So, and they're very small. You're not losing much if you do it that way. In other words, if you do a cover song, which is somebody else's song, if you do a cover song on stage or in public, you just have to simply get a license to play the song first. And then from there, the writer, whoever the songwriter was or the performer, gets a small token of that, which actually, if you're in a bar, the bar pays for that. Okay, so now there are quite a few digital, I'm not going to say quite a few, maybe there's 4 or 5 that are good, digital programs that you can either purchase, and there's 1 or 2 that you can get free, just download it off the internet, that will score your song. In other words, it'll write the music for you. So you just have to put in the music. And you've got some that you can just, you hook up your instrument and you can just play it, and it'll write that score. And it'll correct the timing for you. It's best you have your own timing, because if you don't select your own timing for what you want to do, it kind of sometimes gets goofy, because the beat and rhythm you set up maybe doesn't go with the timing they end up giving you. So it's best to do your timing. And the next thing that happens, if you need to know everything that we've been talking about here lately, and that's about developing the song by taking a look at what you're trying to do down here, then writing a score on it. Because when you go through the program, there's going to be notes in there that you need to delete. Well, you need to know what to delete, and you need to know how to keep it simple. So if the score comes back with this, and you go, oh, that's not the way it sounded, then you have to take and eliminate those notes that created that problem. So the first thing you do is get rid of the minor, and then you get rid of everything else except just that one note. Because you want it as simple as you can so that everybody in the world can play it. They can add the rest of it to that song to make it complicated, but you just need to have the main lead that way instead of, in other words, you just want. But if you don't already have gone through the system of working with that, you're going to be lost. It'll take you a lot of frustration to get to where you want to. You might throw the program away and try to buy another one. But it's as simple as that. You need to have some information before you get one of those. Okay. And with that said, I like Sibelius. I have Sibelius, and it's an Avid product, AVID, and I like them. In other words, after you get it all done, and you want them to turn it into a symphony for you, you just send the instruments, the names of the instruments and the lead lines, and send it to them, and they put it all together for you. And it's not free, but it's nice to have somebody that can do that for you. Okay, now for next week, we're going to start. Make sure you. Okay, we're going to start with going through more than just the C chord. The C chord we just went through is the top one here. The next one down is C sharp or D minus, a D flat. Okay, and so I've run a copy of this and put it up there, and it'll be on a caption so you can open it up after you're through with this or before you want to start it. In other words, you have to go back and open it up. So we're going from the C. Now we're going to go up 1/2 step is actually all we're doing. But the progression of that is C, D flat, E flat minor, F minor, and then we have a G flat, an A flat, and a B flat minor. Here's B, there's a minor. Okay, running out of air. And then we have the C. Now, the C is got one of those little circles beside it, so that means it's diminished. Okay, so now here again we have D flat, E flat minor, F minor, B flat, A flat, B flat minor, and C diminished. Now, did you notice all of the notes that you can play with this? Here, watch. Okay, look at the black notes. Look at that, see? Okay, we just played all those. We're on F minor. Okay, now we're on G flat, playing all these. Now we're on A flat, playing all those. Then we're on B flat minor. So, if you're playing this, look at this. Now, did you catch all that? You'll see some people playing, and you wonder, what are they doing? Their hand is all over the black notes. They're not hitting anything with the black notes, because it's very simple. You look at B, A. Okay, so that's the B flat. So what I want you to do for an exercise is to look at the third line down, or if you want to, use C sharp, it's the same thing. And just in the, one's a flat and one's a sharp. I like D flat. For some reason it becomes easier for me because it's 1/2 step up from C. And you'll see when we go into our discussion next week how the numbers, in other words, we're 1/2 step above. Everything's 1/2 step above, see? So you go 1/2 step above each one from C. But as you progress up, then those numbers change. So then you make a decision which is easier for you, remembering all of these changes in that key, or what? Now, let's go back up here. In the key of C, you have 1, 4, and 5. In other words, we've been working with C, F, G. C is 1, F is 4, and G is 5. That's your progression. So to use a progression in D flat would be D flat. See, the blue is the popular. And in other words, like so, B flat, and we have G flat and A. So if you're doing the same thing, so you can do a lot with all this, and just think about all the ones that are left. And then after this, these are all the major chords, okay? And then we have all the minor chords, which are just minors of the major. So you have a lot yet to go. You're not over yet. So I'm going to let you practice with this for the week. Just simply go down to the D and use both hands and just start going up. Just start going clear up the scale. And just keep practicing that, how I showed you, going up and down the scales, okay, until you get familiar with it like we did C. And then, of course, we're going to start talking about doing a minor B flat, D flat, doing a diminished. All those notes that we had for C that we could play with, now we're going to be playing with another chord. So with that in mind, I'm going to let you go, and you have a good weekend, and have fun on the keys, huh? And you take care, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much, and enjoyed it. I get a chance to learn and refresh, and I like that very much too. So I hope you do too. Thank you. Bye-bye.